Water, the simplest of molecules, yet the foundation to life. What happens when access to it is no longer a guarantee? The question we must ask ourselves is not if this will affect us, but rather when.
Across the globe, freshwater resources are disappearing. Once abundant aquifers are being pumped beyond their natural recharge rates, not over decades, but over years. Rivers that sustained life for a millennia now slow to a trickle or vanish entirely before reaching the sea. From the megacities to the remote farming villages, communities now face an impossible question. How do we adapt when the very thing we built our lives around is drying up? The challenge is no longer theoretical. It's real, it's accelerating, and it's rewriting the rules of survival. Because when water disappears, nothing stays the same. What happens when the world's longest river can no longer sustain the people who relied on it for generations? And when one of America's largest cities turns to recycled wastewater, not as a backup plan, but as its future? From the Nile Basin to Los Angeles, water scarcity isn't a distant crisis. It's here, and it's forcing a reckoning with systems we've built and the choices we make. Because when the environment shifts, nothing stands still. Political priorities change, economies strain, social structures adapt, technology races to keep up, laws evolve, and ethics are tested. This is the ripple effect, and this is where Pestle begins.
The Nile River, stretching over 6,600 kilometers or about 4,100 miles, sustains more than 300 million people across 11 countries. But access to its waters has long been shaped by a 1959 agreement between Egypt and Sudan. An agreement that largely excluded upstream nations like Ethiopia and Sudan. Today, with rising populations, climate change, and growing agricultural demands, tensions over the Nile's water are intensifying. In response, leaders launched the Nile Basin Initiative in 1999, step toward regional cooperation. Yet after 25 years, a binding agreement still remains out of reach. In the absence of regional consensus, local innovation is helping fill the gap. Greywater recycling and reclaimed wastewater for irrigation, rainwater harvesting, and community-led reuse projects. These efforts reduce pressure on freshwater supplies, but they are not enough on their own. The path forward demands regional cooperation, updated legal frameworks, and long-term investment in both infrastructure and diplomacy. Because the Nile Basin isn't just a local concern. It's a global test of whether we can manage shared water resources fairly and sustainably. Water is more than a resource. It's a mirror of how we live, how we cooperate, and how we adapt.
Just like countries involved in the Nile Basin Initiative, agencies across the state of California are having to find innovative ways to promote and implement equitable freshwater use practices. Water scarcity is nothing new to the people of California, especially those that reside in Southern California. Southern California is home to roughly 60% of the state's estimated 39 million people. And with high demands from agriculture and a history of periodic droughts, including 2 in the last 5 years, the state has been forced to find innovative ways to ensure the people and agriculture consistently get the water they need. Leaders from the city of Los Angeles, California's largest populated city, are blazing a new trail in hopes that they can introduce the future of recycled water reuse on the West Coast, direct potable reuse. To provide some background, the City of Los Angeles currently gets its water from local groundwater, the Los Angeles Aqueduct, and the Metropolitan Water District, or MWD. Water from the MWD is fed from the Colorado River and the California State Water Project's California Aqueduct. This water is strictly supplemental and must be purchased from the city. So, in an effort to reduce reliance on imported water and increase the local water supply, the city's mayor in 2019 announced the Green New Deal, with the goal that all wastewater generated in the city of Los Angeles would be recycled for potable water reuse by 2035. From the announcement of this ambitious goal, the Pure Water Los Angeles program was created. The program aims to increase and optimize the city's local supplies and support the transition to 70% local water through increased production of recycled water, both directly and indirectly. The program has plans to upgrade the Hyperion Water Reclamation Plant so that it will be able to utilize indirect potable reuse and inject that water, which is enough for 2 million people, into aquifers in the San Fernando Valley and southern parts of LA County. Additionally, there are plans to implement direct potable reuse at the Los Angeles Aqueduct Filtration Plant, also in the San Fernando Valley, that would send treated wastewater right to the user's tap. While this program has many components and a hefty price tag, this innovative solution will help maintain the water supply and prepare the city and region for any future changes to the state's climate. None of this would have been possible without the State Water Resource Control Board approving direct potable reuse regulations in October of 2024. These regulations faced pushback from the public and had to overcome hurdles regarding public health protection regulations. Through public education and implementation of rigorous monitoring, maintenance, and treatment criteria, the Water Board created an example of how other states and agencies can look at implementing similar direct potable reuse regulations. With these newly implemented regulations, cities throughout the state can now look at minimizing long-term costs for importing water from outside resources and help the environment by reducing carbon emissions, avoiding ecological disruptions from construction of new infrastructure, and improving coastal and river ecosystems by allowing less contaminants to enter the waterways. The implementation of potable water reuse systems may be the key to helping alleviate the decline in freshwater availability, not just in California, but around the world.
Now we've seen how communities across the world are responding to the shared challenge of water scarcity. In part 2, we're going to explore some key aspects of PESTLE, examining how this challenge is driving change across politics, economics, society, technology, and law. Because at the heart of every water challenge is a leadership challenge, one that demands collaboration, vision, and resilience. Thank you to the Water Leadership Institute and the Water Environment Federation for the opportunity to explore these urgent topics and bringing together leaders from across the globe to be part of this solution. We'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you.